Hello everyone, this is Dr.Ritika Gauba, your one and only PhD mentor and advisor. As many of you would already know that being a PhD mentor, I take up one-to-one guidance session with PhD aspirants. From discussing the meaning of PhD to discussing what happens in a PhD Viva and how do you prepare for a PhD Viva, and everything between these two extremes are discussed in these sessions. Being a PhD mentor, it is my privilege to discuss on a daily basis, to interact on a daily basis with several PhD aspirants as well as students. Now, after interacting with hundreds and hundreds of students over these years, I have been able to identify certain areas where I find maximum students requiring guidance or maximum students getting confused about taking appropriate decision for their PhD journey. So, based on my experience, I am today going to share with you 3 important tips which, if you would adhere to, it will really help you prepare well for your upcoming PhD journey. So, let us start with tip number 1. Do not wait until the last minute. Often when students approach me for the mentoring session, they give this statement that fine, we want to enroll for the mentoring session, but when would be the most appropriate time to enroll? Should we enroll now or should we enroll after a few months when the actual PhD admission starts? So here is what I explain to them, which also makes this our first tip of the video. Do not wait until the last minute. When it comes to your UGC NET preparation or any other PG, UG entrance examination preparation, you buy multiple books, you get enrolled in coachings, you start the studying process months in advance. But when it comes to PhD, which is actually the highest educational degree, you assume that no preparation is required. I understand that it is not your fault. There is so less educative material available related to the PhD admission process or related to the facts about PhD that students do not understand this, that PhD, like any other entrance examination, also requires some preparation or actually a lot of preparation, especially when you're trying to target one of those special universities, those recognized universities, those institution of national importance. If in case you are aiming to enter any recognized university, whether state, central, institution of national importance, deemed private, you would definitely require some or actually a lot of preparation in advance. So if there are few months left, then now is the time to start preparing for your dream PhD admission journey. This was tip number 1. Many times students approach me and they ask me to mentor them, help them prepare for the PhD program of any one particular institute that they have already chosen. So they are keen on taking admission only in IIT Delhi or only in IIMS Bangalore, only in IIT Madras. Who doesn't want to take admission in these dream institute? However, putting all your efforts and energy, or in other words, putting all your eggs in one basket, it's not advisable for any educational program, least of all for a PhD program. Why do I say so? I'll explain in detail. Now, when you're taking admission in an MBA or a BTech or any other master's or UG program, that institute will take admissions, fresh admissions every year. So an institute would get the approval of taking admission of say 100 MBA candidates from AICT every year. So every year they would be taking fresh admissions of 100 new students. But when it comes to PhD, there is no such fixed number of approved seats by UGC or any other educational body. How many admissions would a university or an institute would take would correlate or is decided by the number of faculties they have and the qualifications of the faculty. So as per UGC's PhD regulations of 2022, only a full-time faculty, that is a professor, assistant professor, or an associate professor who has completed their PhD, has at least 5 years of experience, has published papers, at least 5 papers in case of a professor and associate professor, and 3 papers in case of an assistant professor. Only when full-time faculties have this kind of qualification will they be allowed to supervise students. That's number one. Now again, UGC has put in a restriction on the number of students that these professors or associate or assistant professors can guide. Now UGC says that an associate professor, have a look at the table, professor can guide only up to 8 PhD students or research students. That means you can supervise and they can co-supervise. So they should not have any at one particular point of time more than 8 students. An associate professor can guide only 6 and an assistant can guide only 4. Now supposing that in the year 2022 there is a one particular department who has only 3 faculties, professor, associate professors and assistant professor, and all of them are eligible to guide students. So as per this timetable, as per this table, these 3 faculties in total can guide at a particular point of time 18 students. So this department can take only 18 students. And once the admission process is done, they will continue guiding only these 18 students till the time one of these or few of these 18 students either quit the program and leave in between, or they submit their PhD. So since 3 years is the minimum time to pursue a PhD, and assuming none of these 18 students quit, that means that this department will not be able to take up new admissions for the next 3 years. And this is the reason when I say do not put all your eggs in the same basket, I mean that when you decide that okay, I'm going to apply only for this one particular university, but in case they do not have the vacancy, none of their professors are free, they will not even advertise or they will not open up the seats for that particular PhD department. And therefore, I urge all my students who are taking mentoring guidance from me to have one benchmarked or one dream institute, but along with that to have a few backup options, so that if your dream institute does not open up for PhD admissions, you would not be lost. You would know that you have certain other backup options where you can apply for a PhD journey. So this was tip number 2. From here we move on to our last tip of this video. Tip number 3. Think, plan and prepare ahead. So as I've already mentioned that I take up one-to-one sessions from what PhD is to the preparation of Viva and everything in between. And when I say everything in between, I mean that we also help you out by telling you how to identify a research topic. Once you've identified these research topics, we also sit and discuss your research ideas and discuss them for feasibility and research methodology. We also tell you how to write a research proposal and then check the appropriateness of your research proposal. So when I tell the students about the detailed session that we take up, they often get surprised that so much of preparation is actually required to apply for a PhD admission program. Yes, this is a very important part of your PhD admission journey, and it is not required in 1 or 2 institutes. It is actually required by majority or at least quite a few institutes, which includes your state and central universities in India as well. In fact, requirement of an SOP or a research proposal is not an Indian phenomena. These are documents which are required by universities across the world. In fact, there are many reputed international universities who just make the selection based on the research proposals or the SOPs that you send them. And they give you 6 months to write these important documents. That's how important understanding your research areas and SOPs and research proposals are. Just very recently, a South-based university which ranks among the top 10 NIRF universities in India had opened their PhD admissions. When my students were filling up these forms, beside asking for a proposal and an SOP, this university wanted the students to clearly mention the research topic in which they wanted to do their PhD. That is the kind of preparation at least the topmost universities want you to have. Therefore, I say think, plan and prepare ahead. With these, we come to the end of our 3 tips. Do let me know if you did find these tips useful. Let me know through your comments that what other aspects of PhD you would like me to discuss with you. In case you want me to mentor you, in case you want to know more about a mentoring session, then you can get in touch with me on the number given below. Remember, plan ahead, think and prepare. Do not wait till the last minute, and most importantly, do not put all your eggs in one basket. With this, I would like to say goodbye to all of you till we meet again next week. Happy PhD studying and preparation. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Do not forget to like our videos, leave your comments and share them with your friends and colleagues. And of course, if you haven't already, then please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a good week ahead.